for macro, I think it can bring the winning condition for your team more easily on the early game because of the rotation.
Yeah, I completely agree. And this is the draft that I expect TLID did game 4 yesterday when Matilda is open. TLID finally picked up the Matilda first, Bigatron forced.
Being in the gold lane, what's the proper counter towards this Natan in the lane?
There's some heroes that can counter Nathan on the lane. If we're talking about the matchup, I think Harriet can be good against the Nathan, but what I'm thinking is like on the late game, who's gonna go inside, who's gonna dive into the backline to aim for the Nathan. That's why Cho is really important heroes, but they already have Matilda now.
I mean, after Holy Crystal, all you can do is just pray against a Natan, especially on the hands of Amon. Let's see here, can TLID or will TLID hinder that possibility? Phobius picked up. That's adding more bodies. He knows that potentially, looking at the draft, he can go other spells other than the Vengeance.
Are they going for a protect Mr. President kind of strategy here for Bigatron?
I believe so.
Indeed. That's why with Phobius, it can go to the enemy's backline. Alpha can stand beside Nathan. And don't forget there is still for Ramis. If they want to use like for Bigatron Alpha to have the prolonged team fight as the mid laner. And it will be good to be the bodyguard of the cat.
What about Valentina for Moreno?
Honestly, Colliers, I see your vision, but I do not like the Faramis. Instead, I really like the Valentina. Yesterday, there's an opportunity from the side of TLID to pick up the Valentina, but they went for the Aura and it failed. Against the Yves, it's kind of tricky against the Faramis, but let's see here. I mean, Faramis technically is good against two fighters, but against the Yves, I don't like the matchup.
The problem is, I think TLID gonna ban the Valentina because they know it's gonna be annoying when he's can copying like the Deadly Cat, the remote manipulation. That's why I'm thinking that maybe Varamis can be good, or using Aurora against Bane. It might be a good option because it have a lot of CC, AOE that can help them. That's what, hurry.
Remember, this
The
is
matchup.
no ordinary Valentina. This is Moreno's Valentina. This is a different Moreno from what we saw in the regular season. Moreno has improved spectacularly into the playoffs, and we saw his performance on the Valentina, back-to-back player of the game. And no, the Valentina has actually been let go. They go for the Tigreal ban instead for TLID. Bigatron, what do they go for now?
Understand, TLID has a chance, an opportunity to pick up the Clint. That's why they banned the Tig. Clint cannot go Purify, and with Flicker Implosion in hand, it might wreck their formation. Good call on the Valentina Eterna. They do deliver. Bigatron Alpha, they want to copy the real-world manipulation and potentially the Deadly Catch. And high loss.
Debut Ixia!
Oh my lord.
It's a great combo.
So no, not Clint. They want DPS.
And if you look at the here he goes. Rafaela finally comes out. We already seen it on the MPLPH Grand Final where Rafaela can counter a lot of slow CC heroes.
From Yves.
Yeah, from Yves. That's why they're gonna use Rafaela, and it's a tough draft. It's a tough match from the draft itself.
But if you had to choose, guys.
For me, on the early game, I think TLID can control the game, but if they cannot control the early game, BTR gonna win the first game.
Honestly, that Rafaela pick convinced me. Bigatron taking game 1.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. 2 debut picks for the first game here in the lower bracket finals. We're now gonna throw it over to our casters for game number 1.
There is no gray here. It's black and white. It's M6 or home. It's now or never for these two teams. There's nothing that could...
El Dorado Dome. Like I said, Sheffin, there's nothing they could do better to make it to the stage, to go forward. They just gotta do it. They just gotta show to the world who's better. Rafaela convinced Gani. The Ixia convinced Colias. What about you, Mr. Realize, man?
I said it in the drafting phase that there will be a possibility where the Rafaela could be brought up because you know, Chevin mentioned that the Rafaela hasn't been played in the playoffs, but I think there is an angle where Key would be able to utilize the Rafaela because of the slows coming in from the backline of Team Liquid ID. You know, the Bane and again the Eve that can always control and create that space for Super Luke if he wants to jump into the backline. But speaking of the emblems, there is nothing that is too particular, but the War Cry on the Valentina. Maybe he wants to get the stacks going. The basic attacks. We talked about Moreno. He has been able to build the Stardom site, and now he goes for the War Cry as well. That's one thing that is kind of interesting to see from Moreno.
Super Ken with his Spear of Alpha already locking Fabian down. The guy win not there. Fabian will fall, and Super Ken collects first blood.
It's a battle of disengage. It's a battle of kiting. And this time around, BTR dealt the first blow.
Yeah, they did. Super Ken's power spike right there with the Spear of Alpha. He was able to get the kill towards that one player, which was Fabian. And this kind of slows down the Bane, but the Bane will, of course, bank the late game. Now, talking about the Exia pick, I feel like Bigatron, they don't have any, you know, hard-locking backline dive, but Super Ken.
Spear of Alpha to the back. Witty's going to be caught, forced to flicker out. Key now walking up, looking for the stacks down again. Super Ken diving deep. Key finds the kill early on. It's 2-0 to BTR.
They kept on going. Key with the Rafaela, of course, negates the slows, and this is going to be pretty scary now for Team Liquid ID. But again, still, minute number 2, Turtle on the menu.
Aran very low. Super Luke not level 4 just yet. Deadly Cat's going to be used up right now as Key goes for the Fabian. Will win the retreat battle. Moreno walking forward. Iman with the entropy, but a guiding win helps him to escape. No retribution on Fabian. He might have to lose out this purple buff. And that he does. Super Ken should be able to take this. He has skill. Unable to compete with the retribution.
They better thank God that Moreno is not level 4 just yet, just now. But that was interesting. Fabian's gonna lose that purple buff against a turtle for Bigatron Alpha. So there is still some counterplay there from Bigatron Alpha as they're up 1.2k gold lead. Talent prediction by GoPay. Mr. Realize you're going for the cavalry.
Yo, I mean, these guys, yeah, of course, mental block and all that stuff that people have been talking about, but I just want to see them kind of succeed because the young blood, I mean, fair play to Bigatron as well. I feel like these are players that are also, you know, waiting for the time to go to that international stage. But then again, Team Liquid ID, I feel like will be, you know, the better team today. But of course, we will hope that this will be a spectacular game to watch.
For sure. Key on the Matilda so far. Only muscle. Oh, Eman
with the entropy going forward. Aaron Chiki already taking very, very low. Now Key coming in as well. Eman be able to pick that up. Now it's going to be the circular eagle from Witty. Not able to dish out some damage. Not all the damage. The holy healing really playing a part into that win. Moreno has stolen the real rhythm plation. Will try to check the bush. Witty will recall and he will get it. BTR though, an overwhelming lead in the bottom lane for the man on a mission, Eman.
Yikes, we talked about the Exia being that ranged pick that could really just negate the dive and play with the rage, but I feel like in a 1v1 situation, the Natan can just eat the Exia. Because of the burst damage with the entropy, the Exia does not really have any tools except from the knockback that she has. But when the Natan goes all in and is isolated with Key behind him, it feels like the Exia, excuse me, will just lose. But in a long drawn team fight, the Exia can just burst out and constantly give the damage, and I feel like it could also bait the resources coming from Bigatron Alpha.
This first item for Aaron Shiki, something to look for TLID, and now second total fight. 4 people already.
Super Luke finding 2. Now the real revelation from Moreno, but it's going to be the full barrage as well. Fabian winning the retreat battle. Moreno going to be caught very, very low. Witty with a circling eagle knocks him up, but he's still going to be able to survive with the holy healing. Iman rotating over. Got enough damage to take them down. Key, no mana. And it is going to be TLID with a team fight turtle win.
Super Luke might have the Iran experience against RRQ right now. Against this much kiting, against this much slow. What is he gonna do if he jumps in?
That's the problem, right? There is a lot of zoning from Team Liquid ID. If you want to jump as Super Luke, number 1, there's the real world manipulation. Number 2, there's the deadly catch. And number 3, Aaron Shiki is just chilling on his chair in the back, popping the full barrage to just hit into the players of Bigatron Alpha, and that will be the problem. The question is how they can jump into Aaron Shiki. That will be the main focus of Bigatron Alpha. But around in the top side with the high loss, he will just tank this out. Super Ken might be in trouble.
Defensive Spear of Alpha, the glorious pathway already used up already. He with a holy healing. This is why it was picked up. The anti-slow.
The anti-slow to counter the slow from Yves, and to remind you all that these 2 heroes, Yves and Natan, has been so far the heroes of MPL Indonesia Playoff Season 14, and they're gonna actually trade it out battery out. Eman once again pulled the trigger.
In 1v1, the full barrage will land a flicker forward. Almost a solo kill. Eman still able to survive. Key very low. Forced to use the flicker and burn it away. 2 gold lanes with the flicker, but Key will lose his as well. Moreno walking up top, providing cover for BTR's tier 1.
It was scary. Haranshiki popped the full barrage, was able to solo kill, or rather closely solo kill the players of Bigtron Alpha, Iman, but now the glorious pathway.
And the holy baptism.
Okay, just to give them a little bit of scare there, because on Alpha right now they have some turrets. Also does the TLID. The third total objective. This is gonna be tough for both teams. I feel like TLID, in that occasion just now, they were actually behind and they were able to actually take it. So, what's gonna happen here this time around?
I'm thinking of maybe Moreno who will really become a menace when the game progresses, because he will be the one who will probably catch out on Shiki and burst the resources of the TLID in a turtle fight.
Still gonna be claimed right there. Super Luke jumps into the midst of it all. Now it's into the real world manipulation, popped in by Yehezkiel. Caught in the holy baptism. TLID decide there's nothing to fight for. We've lost Aran, we've lost the turtle, but BTR on the other hand will try to look for more. In the mid lane, popping Entropy already, but the full barrage will surely force them back. A deadly catch stolen from Moreno.
Ooh.
And that will be it.
Okay, that interaction realized the guiding wind towards the full barrage. That's gonna be interesting if they actually used it. Oh man,
It has a lot of interactions that is very, very particular into the guiding wind, but now the game fact though, Sheffin.
Keys Ravella becomes the 81st hero to debut in MPL Indonesia Season 14 after last appearing in MPL Indonesia Season 13 by Dreams, where they suffered a defeat against Dewa. That is game fact by new application GoPlay.
If you guys are wondering why the Ixia is not here, is because the Ixia were already picked in a regular season by Skylar. It was Kesku's draft. Super Ken with the Spear of Alpha, again trying to displace them. Now Super Luke caught on the bad spot. Able to flicker out. The Holy Baptism stops Aran in his tracks. But again, big battle spell burnt.
Yeah, a lot of slows from TLID, but he has been the forefront, even the backbone for Bigtron Alpha to bob and weave freely against the slows from Team Liquid ID. And I feel like that's going to be the key into what will help them traverse into the team fights. Again, so much layering from Team Liquid ID, but so far I feel like Haranshiki at least is able to farm properly, and you see right over there the brute force breastplate purchased by Favian just to give him that extra bit of defense. And now the deadly catch was topside.
That's the strength of the paint. Aaron is left alone though. Dealing some damage. Moreno walking forward. Holy Baptism will find him. But now the full barrage from Aaron Chike. Moreno pops in the real world manipulation, and it is not enough to take him down. This man on the Ixia. Him on the bottom lane gets a tier 2, so at least it's a trade, but definitely not worth it.
Man, oh man, I thought it was going to be a mistake coming from Aaron Shiki. BTR pulled the trigger, but it was a bait after all from Fabian and crew.
It was just a bait, and it's gonna be always Haranshiki being the gunner for Team Liquid ID, but now they have Prio on the Lord. I feel like the Bigtron Alpha, they can find it here, but talking about the Lord, TLID has that shred potential to take it down quickly, but the Natan is close by, and this might be a huge make or break fight.
Circling Eagle with glorious pathway. Super Ken forcing it. Right here in the midst of it all, Fabian will be able to find Keith. Super Ken wins it out. Moreno and Amon still able to free hit right now as Ryan gets dealt with by in front of pursuit, but Aaron Chiki will continue this onslaught and the full barrage.
Yehezkiel?
Amon going into Yehezkiel, flicker forward. Moreno very low. Aaron needs one more, but doesn't have the flicker to get it. BTR saved by Super Ken.
Oh, but still, surely that was TLID's win. 3 guys for BTR for the Stallions.
Yep, Super Ken. His retribution on point. There was criticisms towards him picking the X-Borg against the Ling, but not winning the retri battles and the objective takes. But this time around, at least, he was able to get it. But take a look at how crucial Key is. The moment he dies, the slows TLID becomes so much dangerous, and then Haranshiki can just free hit from the back with the extra range that the Ixia has, and Bigtron Alpha, they want to collapse.
On to Entropy, Haranshiki really low. Aran trying to go for the sandwich play right now, but he's going to be caught in a bad spot. He has the vengeance, remember, so he's going to be poked down quite well. Full barrage used up to go for this Lord. Almost getting a bonus with Super Ken. They've used a big ultimate. BTR now corralling over Aran in the bush. Will be able to recall. Good defense from TLID.
There you go, the favor too from Iman to further his gold, to further his farming. And now BTR is actually leading the game in economy. I didn't really expect that. Meanwhile, Iman feels like he's going to be... You know, he's the marksman, but so far he's the one who's been diving the most.
Okay, if we want to talk about the Natan, I feel like yes. A lot of burst damage if it's going to be a 1v1 against the Ixia, but the Ixia has that extra CC. So it kind of changes my mind into the 1v1 situation later on against Iron Chiki. We're talking about the base defense and the high ground effectiveness. I feel like Natan has it, but Ixia also can poke you out from afar with the full barrage later on. So if Big Turn Alpha won a siege, they have to really zone out Iron Chiki, but that's not going to be something easily achievable. If Key is gonna die and that slows always remain in the place, I feel like Team Liquid ID will have that victory over Bigatron Alpha in the sieges. But talking about Iron Chiki, I feel like he has to be kept very, very safely. It almost feels like a protect Mr. President type of comp to Team Liquid ID against Bigatron Alpha. And now Bigatron Alpha, all they have to bank on is some good anti-slows.
Spear of Alpha though over to Ron. Now the real revelation, but Ron is going to be picked off. Super Cat on the back spot right now. Holy healing saving. Circling E gonna pull barrage. That's the Matilda to bring him forward. Now Moreno with a steal onto the deadly catch, getting Aaron low, but it's not enough to take him down.
UTech guiding me down towards the full barrage. Well, it's not entirely new, but surely in Nampila Indonesia playoffs right now, as they are going to move on towards the mid lane, they're gonna take a lot of things from Bigatron Alpha.
Yeah, that's also attack, right? Because the problem of full barrage with Ixia is that you can't really gap close. Once you pop the full barrage, you're set in stone unless you have a flicker. With the guiding wind, it enables you to gap close with the enemy. Moreno
forcing a flicker out before the Lord fight. Massive win for Team Liquid ID, and for the first time this game, they get a hold of that gold lead.
And back to my point, right? There's a lot of interactions you can use with the guiding wind. Again, like the Mystic Gush by Gord that can always be paired with the guiding wind. And now I feel like the full barrage is just a perfect combo that can help the Ixia gap close with the full barrage and then kind of like poke and burst down the front line of Big Alpha. That is something that they have to watch out.
Supercan is in the midst of this Lord Pit. He is literally in there. He has getting free poke now with Spear of Alpha and the real revelation. Look, Supercan winning out the Red Tree battle right now, but Aaron Chiki is still waiting on the full barrage timing. It's a double kill for Yeheski. Moreno gets a trade for it. Amon going for some damage. He won't be able to find one. Full barrage. This time no flicker, no witty to save or to get him closer. 2 for 2, but the Lord went to BTR.
Oh my goodness, Super Ken once again being the savior of the red robots, taking two. Those 50-50s, it's not even 50-50s. He was not in a favorable positions for 2 times.
It's disgustingly insane and very good, man.
Winner Nature popped in already with Entropy as well. Despite being his death, but no, he's able to escape now. Key walking forward, getting Holy Baptism. Moreno stealing away the deadly catch. No kills on the board. Lord in hand, still full HP, marching down up top.
Oh my goodness, yes, Gil right now. He hasn't built the Ice Queen 1 just yet. It's gonna be interesting to see. Because so far, out of all the players in Indonesia's playoffs, he's the only one that built this item. And I think right now, it works perfectly. And shout out to one of the players in NA, man. I got rose gold, dog.
Hey, last time someone got rose gold, they got reverse swept. Wait, that happened.
Hey, the rose gold is actually pretty good because, you know, you don't kind of want to waste that immortality because you can item swap it later, number 1, number 2. As Ixia can hit safely from the back, so you don't want to buy that immortality because you know you can hit from the back and you want that extra damage. But again, it serves as kind of like an anti-magic burst that gives you that extra shield once you're very low. And he really needs it against the Valentina, against Natan specifically as well. But again, back to my point, it's insane how Amon is 4-0 deathless. Considering the fact that Team Liquid ID has a very solid composition with the slows and the pokes, this guy is just insane. But Aaron Shiki, I feel like Ixia's, their late games are underlooked. But the problem is that once they have the momentum, once you can free hit from the back, that is where it becomes a problem for Bigatron Alpha. Now, Bigatron Alpha, they have to think of a way on how to skip this Ixia, probably just dive into it in the back line. But again, they have to remember, they have to keep Key alive because this is, or he is, the backbone of Bigatron Alpha to pass through the slows and the AoEs and the zoning of Team Liquid ID.
A pinch maneuver onto Super Ken, who has used the Spear of Alpha. The Holy Baptism coming down as well with the full barrage. And Super Ken will probably lose his life. It's a full dive from the back line. And Super Luke goes for Aaron Chiki, but will be melted down. He goes for Witty as well, but it's not going to be enough right now as Amon. Oh! His tail on the real world manipulation. 4 members deleted from Bigatron Alpha.
Most improved player, second team All Lampiel Indonesia Season 14. The rookies from TLID. They have all the things in the world to end this right now. It's only Moreno all alone.
All alone against 5. No longer the lone stallion. This is a full cavalry charge. Moreno able to clear out a bit of the wave right now. The mini waves will be spawning, but it will not be enough right now. The base wide open. Key will be spawning in 3. And 3 seconds isn't enough to make this defense happen. TLID strike first in the best of 5.
Oh man, oh man. That was actually a bad early game for TLID, but the mentality, it looks like the improvement happened in a span of 1 day. It took only 1 day for these young bloods, for these rookies, to be able to stay composed when the moment needs it the most. And right now, they dealt the first blow against Pikachu Alpha, the red robots.
2 unconventional picks. 1, the Ixia, to deal the damage to the Rafaela to stop the slows. But how can you stop the slow when you have a full entire cavalry charging at you with their swords and their shields and their boiling bloods of youth? Pikachu Alpha, they have to concede the first game, and Man looked very sharp, deathless, on what seemed like an inaccessible backline of Team Liquid ID, but still Aaron Shiki with the insane damage. Team Liquid ID, they have the upper hand. 1-0.
And the question is, can they keep it up? It happened multiple times before in this playoffs. They were up 2-0 2 times. And the opponent just retaliates. That is the biggest questions that's gonna be posed to these young bloods, to these youngsters. They might win this time, but the consistency gotta come through.
Crazy performance from TLID and a genius pick in the Ixia. We were wondering in the back rooms, just talking about this Natan being an oppressive force throughout the playoffs. Chedera knocked out Fnatic Onic with this pick. And just yesterday, we saw the crazy contest for the Natan by TLID. It seems there's a reason now that they have left the Natan open. They found the tech to beat it out. They picked up an Ixia with the Mathilda. And remember, it can't just be the Ixia. You need someone to help with a gap closer. You need someone to help this very vulnerable Ixia. And the Mathilda fits perfectly. And now, the big question is, how prio is the Mathilda? With the Ixia now becoming another possible combo.
What a curveball! And we're just gonna curve it right away and throw the curveball towards the panelist desk. Eterna, time is yours.
Thank you, casters, for bringing us game number 1 in this best of 5 series. TLID striking first. That was a very interesting question that the casters actually threw over to us. Let's start with you, Colius. How prio is the Matilda now that we've seen the Ixia being played in as a good counter towards this Natan pick in the gold lane?
I think, yeah, it's still like on the top prio. It's below Chip, but Matilda is on the top prio. Because here, actually Bigatron already have the early tempo. They got the kills, they got the pressure on Aaron Shiki, but they go with the flow. They're just following the overhype that they have, and they don't start to move the turtle. Yeah, like they got the turtle and everything is changed.
Yeah, I mean, it is safe to say that TLID, they understood their gameplay. They know that their early game isn't where they are. Their composition is very good. So they laid back a little. They took a couple of punches in the early game, but they threw haymakers in that mid game and late game, right? And you can see here by the just by overall TLID, they are a team that is addicted to the rush.
Addicted to the rush. I like that. I like that because it was a rush to see how big, honestly, a certain player also stepped up in this match. And I'm wondering if he's actually going to be able to get the player of the game. But the player of the game actually goes to Weedy, presented to you by the official tournament smartphone Samsung Galaxy S14 FE. Granted, he did get 100% TP. Do you guys agree with this decision? Matilda, POTG.
Completely. Because I think from Weedy, the guiding win from Weedy, I think the Aaron Shiki can make that move, can get all the kills. That's why Weedy is always like guarding Aaron Shiki whenever she moves.
This is what I'm talking about, right? I mean, you first pick the Matilda, you need to deliver. First pick value. And it seems like Weedy, he understands the in and outs of this hero, and he was able to extract the maximum potential of this hero, right? Take a look at this positioning, the timing of the circling eagle, the way he escorts his teammates in and out of fights is just tremendous. And this is why MPLBH 100% ban this Matilda. They do not let go out. They do not let this Matilda out of the banning phase. You can see here, yeah, it's very hard for Bigatron to engage, to penetrate because of the zoning potential as well. You got the real world manipulation, you got the last insanity, and don't forget about the deadly catch.
But I need to mention, I think there is a lot of mistakes from both of them too against this game. I think this is their first game, so they are still trying to find their tempo. And on this top lane, I think it's a very sweet move from the Aaron Shiki using the flicker to don't let the opponents running away, and they can end the game after this.
I actually want to give a little bit of props to Yeheskiel as well in this game.
For sure.
I'm quite impressed with his performance. I'm actually extremely impressed with his performance now that we've seen him in the playoffs, because this is also a very different Yeheskiel than we saw in the regular season. He's really stepped up, very aggressive as well. You saw on the Eve, he flickered forward, real-world manipulation, able to get those final kills down. That was also, I think, very expensive, especially when it came down to the trades, right? Team Liquid had a really great snowball going for them by that point. But that was actually initially a Bigatron Alpha game. They were the ones that were leading the tempo. So what happened to Bigatron? Why did they lose the gas?
First of all, they are following their guts to aim for always Aaron Shiki, not aim for the objective like Turtle before. And then they start losing because Vivian already got the Turtle, already got the objective by the turret itself.
Yeah.
And it's got dangerous for Bigatron because when Team Liquid ID got the power spike, everything's changed.
I agree, power spike, right? Mid-game power spike is the way that TLID handles it. They know that early, yeah, okay. Like I said, because
hold on a minute.
Yeah, exactly. They know that they have to be aggressive in the early. They're strong, level 2, with Rafaela as well, mobility. But TLID didn't understand. Hey, Bane after what? The War Axe, after Exia gets Sea Halberd as well. That is where things change. CLID, take a look at what they do. Okay, 4 categories, 3 members of TLID.
Okay.
Domination.
Let's go back there. Let's go back. So if we're talking about power spikes, was there something that Bigatron Alpha could have done differently?
I think for if they want to do it like a normal game, they can move to the objective. Like for the Turtle, like I know, put the pressure on the opponents is good, especially for Team Liquid ID. Because Vivian, if they got the space, Vivian can move everywhere, can put the pressure on the Bigatron Alpha. But they try to put the pressure on the wrong person. Because they put the Aaron Shiki, but they have Widdy, they have Yeheskiel, who can cover Aaron Shiki on the mid to late game. That's why Aaron Shiki already got the 2 items, 3 items, and then using the full barrage, everything is very painful.
I honestly think, I'm really thinking. I see your point, but I think it's a tough draft to execute in that late game. Sure, you have the Natan. I thought the Rafaela was a game changer. That convinced me that Bigatron will take the dub. But seeing the big picture, in hindsight, yeah, I forgot about the glorious path. I forgot about the deadly catch that potentially overload the composition of Bigatron Alpha.
And don't forget about the choice that Aran makes for the battle spell. He's not using Revitalize, he's using the Vengeance. So every time Aran wants to use the Entropy, trying to hit Aran as the frontliner, the damage will bounce back to him.
Yeah, you're right. So that the Vengeance plays a part there. And I want to use this time to, yeah, we know TLID likes to, they're addicted to the rush. But in the game number 1, oh guys, you guys can see it. They're addicted to the range. The range was also a huge theme in that first game, right? I mean, deadly catch. It's, you know, it's far. You got the real world manipulation. You got the last insanity flicker, last insanity guiding win as well. So they're playing along the range. And Bigatron Alpha, like I said, it overwhelmed them in that first game.
So it's not just addicted to the rush.
They're addicted to the range.
Game number 1. Yeah. So this is good, right? This is good because now we have answers to some questions that we had. One was about the mentality of TLID coming into this match. It looked like in game number 1 they were very confident, and also they started exploring new things. So maybe they have more plans ahead. Because, I don't know, we'll see, right? Because the last time they met against Bigatron, they did pull a new hero out. They pulled in a Hilda in the EXP lane.
Yes, sir.
Now, it turns out Aaron Shiki plays the Ixia.
Maybe.
The synergy of Hylos and Matilda.
Ooh, it's scary to
And
see.
yeah, finally, TLID gets the Hylos back. Finally.
The cavalry, right? It's within their identity. We can't deny it. And yeah, hopefully this is not their only card that they have. Because again, if they win this series, they're still RRQ. And if RRQ, with RRQ, they know it's within their radar. It's going to be very hard, Coleus, to defeat a RRQ. So let's see here. TLID, Ixia, Matilda. Check, check, check.
Yep.
Natan, Prio, question mark, game 2?
I think still on Prio because using against like the 3 synergy, Matilda, Hylos, and Ixia, you need to make sure that the opponent is not using any heroes that can dive it into the backline.
Yeah.
Because when it dives into the backline, especially when he already used the flicker, when Matilda already hitchhiking him, using the guiding wind, it's gonna be dangerous for Ixia because Ixia is very vulnerable. That's why it will get easily crushed, beat to pulp if the assassins comes to the backline.
That's where I feel like the high loss, the Bane plays a part, right? Because it will, there's a potential for the other opponents to
Ling?
go back, disengage. So maybe, yeah. The Ling.
Alice from Supercan?
Yeah, I mean, this is if the Ixia gets picked again, though.
That's
right?
why it's
It
very
was
conditional.
Very, very conditional. Because that was one of the last picks that TLID actually brought onto the table. That's why I feel like Bigatron Alpha, they were caught in a position where, okay, we have to choose. Do we go for Rafaela that will enable us to get out of these situations? Or do we choose something with harder CC? Like, you know, like maybe, I know this is kind of crazy, the Tigreal was banned, but an Atlas that can kind of stop the momentum that TLID were to bring. Do you think if they chose a harder setter roamer, that things could have been different in the team fights?
That's why, back to the statement before we start the match, overthinking. Because on the paper, Rafaela can counter a lot of slow CC heroes.
Yeah, so
but,
the Eve and stuff.
But look at the XP lane. They are using Povius. Povius and Rafaela is not a good synergy. It's like they are not like meant to be on the same team because Povius is gonna be on the front line. He will not gonna get the effect of Rafaela healing, Rafaela ultimate, and that's why I think it's a little bit misdraft from them, and they lack of CC.
Yes.
Yeah, this is a very, very intelligent stuff there, but I want to touch on the question there. Tigreal band, if you really think about it, what's a hard setup for the roam, for the side of Bigatron Alpha, right? With Tigreal band out.
We have Atlas, Kufra, Grok. I don't want to say this. This is something you mentioned. I wouldn't consider it.
The tree?
The tree.
The tree, right. I like it, but there's a Bane that can put you out of position.
Okay, we'll continue this discussion off screen and maybe come to you with a conclusion, ladies and gentlemen, because we are going to throw it over to our host first before we get into game number 2.
Power break it begitu mendebarkan. Dan kita melihat bahwa 1 poin sudah didapatkan dengan begitu yakin.
Betul sekali Bude, tapi sebelumnya aku mau tes dulu Eldorado Bandung, mana suaranya?
Masih pada semangat pastinya, ini baru 1 game.
Betul sekali Bude, dan tidak terasa sekali ya atmosfernya. Begitu luar biasa sampai memanaskan Bandung yang begitu dingin nih Bude. Karena energi yang luar biasa daripada super fans. Mungkin kita tes juga kali ya. Big Troopers, mana suaranya?
The Cavalry, jangan mau kalah. Mana semangat dari The Cavalry? Woohoo! Semuanya pasti lagi menunggu-nunggu karena memang benar kedua tim ingin mencetak sejarah baru menjadi wakil Indonesia di M Series World Championships. M6 di depan mata, hanya satu tiket saja untuk kedua tim ini. Siapa yang bisa mendapatkannya?
Betul sekali, karena hari ini kita akan tahu siapa yang akan melaju ke Grand Final besok melawan Araki Hoshi. Dan ngomongin soal pemirsa MPL juga nih Bude, bahwa kita juga pastinya ingin mengapresiasi karena ada banyak sejarah baru yang terukir di MPL Indonesia, terutama di season 14 ini.
Iya, karena bukan hanya para tim yang mencetak sejarah dan mencetak sesuatu yang baru, melampaui batas. Namun di sini kita, MPL Indonesia dan juga MPL secara global telah mendapatkan sesuatu hal yang baru. Karena kita sudah mencetak sejarah yang sangat membanggakan bagi skena esports Indonesia. Karena MPL kini telah menjadi seri esports pertama yang berhasil mencapai watch time lebih dari 1 miliar watch time.
Dan pastinya Bude tidak sampai di situ saja. Karena untuk MPL Indonesia dalam 3 season berturut-turut berhasil juga memecahkan rekor hingga 100 juta jam penayangan.
Jadi kalau tadi udah 1 miliar, lalu ada 100 juta jam penayangan, banyak banget yang udah kita dapatkan. Tapi belum berhenti di situ. Karena MPL Indonesia Season 14 mendapatkan rekor peak viewers yang baru. Karena saat ini kita telah mencapai 2.083.274 big viewers.
Wah, sebentar lagi hampir 3 juta ya Bude. Ini pencapaian yang luar biasa sekali. Pastinya kita berterima kasih sebesar-besarnya terutama kepada para super fans yang selalu setia ya menantikan tim-tim kesayangannya untuk bertanding dalam MPL Indonesia.
Benar, rekor sudah kita dapatkan bukan hanya dari MPL Indonesia, tapi dari MPL seluruh region pula. Dan betapa bangganya kita akan kesulitan dari Sobat Mobile Legends yang ada di luar sana dan juga pastinya yang ada di sini karena kita semua bersatu padu untuk membangun skena e-sport lebih lagi.
Betul sekali Bude, dan kita bisa lihat ya di hari sebelumnya juga kita kehadiran atlet-atlet e-sport yang pastinya dari Paralympics juga yang kita memberikan inclusivity atau kesetaraan kepada semuanya untuk bisa bermain di e-sport untuk semua. Dan pastinya harapan kita untuk bisa lebih baik lagi Bude ke depannya karena ini akan menjadi suatu perkembangan yang bisa memajukan bangsa.
Benar, jadi tidak hanya dari skena Indonesia saja, tapi secara global.
Betul sekali Bude, dan karena itu dia langsung saja karena tadi pendampingannya sudah menegangkan, kita akan langsung simak bagaimana panelis kita melihat hal ini. Silakan panelis take over.
Yay!
2 million, almost 3?
Almost 3 million peak viewers, a total of 100, what is it, 100 million? 100 million watch hours, total watch hours. That's insane. Thank you guys so much for the support up until this point. After season, after season, after season, hopefully we can break new barriers tomorrow and break new barriers for next season as well. And I guess the first event that we'll actually get to experience will be M6. So let's continue to break records, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you again for your support.
You all are amazing, man.
Always
you.
the best.
We love you and we know you love us.
Mr. John, Sarah, Michelle, we see you in the live chat. Anyway, let's go back into this. Top 5 lords secured around the world. Wow. What, really? Fabian, number 1 lord secured at 52. We have Demon Kite from MPL PH 52. We have Kyle Teasy from MPL PH at 49. Super Ken, Bigatron from MPL ID 49, and Kyrie from MPL ID at 44. What do we think about these, these numbers?
And don't forget, we are still ongoing.
That's
And
true.
the MPL PH is already ends. That's why I think the counter will skill count.
Yeah.
And later, our Vavian gonna secure more of the objective because from the playstyle of Vavian, even though he's using assassins, I think he's always tried to aim for the objective. That's why I love him to be the first player as the jungler.
And it's very, I like it, right? Teams, they're like 3 MPL ID, they're representing the top 5 votes secured, very strong and very stable. Game 1 though, it was Super Ken, seems like, right? That got the better of Fabian and Lord taking. Let's see if Fabian later stage can switch things up in game 2.
Yeah, what happened? Why?
Yeah,
That's not something we normally see from Fabian.
the timing. They have the deadly catch, but I believe it was just Super Ken outplaying in that department.
So let's ask the audience now. After losing game number 1, how can the red robots come back and equalize to game number 2 to make it a 1-1, right? We'll see. Survey says 47% pick or ban Matilda. We have 42% at mid-late game discipline and 11% Luke as a hero enabler. So we're gonna circle onto that first point, pick and ban Matilda.
I agree.
Of course, yeah, because the priority of Matilda right now is so high. Like I said before, it's under the chip, so it's number 2 now. And using with Matilda, there's a lot of synergy that you can think about to be put on the game.
And here's the thing. I think this is also a factor on why because Alpha they chose to go first pick. It seems like they want to go first pick to have a potential Matilda game in the second game.
But with
Or Suyo.
and I mean, typically TLID can use their bans to take away the Matilda, right?
Yeah.
What would you go for? Chip, Suyo, Matilda?
Oh, don't forget about 1-1. Because
Yeah.
I think they already gonna ban 1-1.
But I don't think 1-1 is first pick material.
They can pick it on the second and third pick.
You're right. You're right. But that's the thing, though, right? If you really respect the hero, you really respect the player and the hero, you are allowed to ban the 1-1 in the first phase. Why not?
For TLID, if they're on second pick,
It works, thing. Yeah.
like compared to Suyo, Chip,
True. But I don't think Aaron Shiki likes the 1-1.
we also didn't think he'd like the Ixia,
But he used it.
but he used it.
It was a monster.
So we'll see, ladies and gentlemen.
Fair play.
The drafting phase is getting even more trickier as we get into it for game number 2 presented by the People Tournament smartphone Samsung Galaxy. Oh, there it is. You're right. 1-1.
Yep.
It's banned out in the first phase by TLID, and so they actually went for the gamble. They actually let the Matilda go, and Bigatron went in for a respect ban against the Angela.
That's a quick drop from both of the teams, I think. Because Alpha and Eve is a very good combination when you want to go all out on the team fights. But you have Matilda now. Are they gonna have are using the same strategy as TLID by picking Bane as the jungler?
I think they should, right? If it's within their arsenal here, Bane just goes, it comes to mind. If not TLID, they will definitely ban the Bane out. So let's hear Bigatron Alpha, Bane, and maybe a gold layer, but no. It seems like they will lock in the Khalid first here for Super Luke. One of the ways and points for BTR to equalizing as well. Super Luke and Naples.
But remember, remember the Natan I was about to mention. The Natan is still left open. Bigatron understand its value and they will not let it go. But remember, this Matilda needs to be paired in with someone that can synergize well with her. So what junglers are we thinking for Super Ken?
I think one of the jungler is maybe Bane. And don't forget about Alice from Super Ken. He works with
X-Borg.
X-Borg. Yeah, a lot of fighters.
Up and available here for the side of Bigatron and Alpha. TLID, they can lock in they have the mid. I think it is safe to go in for the gold lane as well. No, they went for Iran. Hilda. Is this? Can we say this works?
No,
Nope.
I don't think so.
Right.
With Hilda, I think he can win the matchup against Khalid on the lane. And later, Hilda can go into the enemy's jungler if Super Cat is using S14. That's why Hilda is denied pick right now, but no Expert. I know because Expert is the counter of the 2 heroes that TLID already picked.
Yeah, it seems like TLID, the 2 heroes that we mentioned, Bane and Xborg, banned out here from the side of TLID, asking a big question. Super Ken, what are you going to synergize this Matilda with? And the Bigatron can not commit on towards a witty hero, and they can switch things up here. Like the Harith maybe can be banned here.
It's been a discussion, right? Does the Harith still really do well against the Natan?
The win rate isn't good. Playoffs. You're right.
But on the laning phase, I think the matchup will be Duke versus Nathan. That's why they need to consider about it using another Harith, and it will be a lot of powerful, like powerful power spike if you already got the item, especially the Holy Crystal.
But I don't think it has worked, hasn't it? So far in the playoffs, laning phase?
That's why
Theoretically, yes. The Harith is the counter towards Natan in lane. But what we've seen so far, the Natan is the one that has a better time in lane against the Harith, which is weird.
They don't care. They don't care. It seems like they will lock in their Harith regardless. And yeah, I mean, technically, Shaman Force, yeah, it's still a factor in clearing. They have high wave, high ground power as well alongside the Eve.
Okay, so Bigatron now have to lock things down for themselves here. Do they want to go for the Valentina once again for Moreno against the Eve?
Loi?
Yep, Loi is still open. Because the option, if he is using the Valentina, is only the reward manipulation. There's no other option. And you can always maybe do...
Okay.
Okay, Zuxin, Nolan.
I forgot about the Zuxin.
Yeah, we forgot about the Zuxin because it should be priority mid laner. When you want to contest against Eve, with Nolan, you can go to the back line and play aggressively on the early game.
And it looks pretty good, right? Dushin is very good against utility junglers as well. Put them out of place. I think it can fare well against the Alpha, but final pick for TLID.
TLID is trying to, hey, this is how you play the Rafaela to P.
Do we like this? Do we like this Rafaela?
I like it.
With the Alpha, how can you not like it?
And it's not with Povius, but it's with Hilda.
There you go.
Okay, so this time,
TLID.
you were wrong last time, guys.
Yeah, I was convinced with the Rafaela pick, but now I double down. I like the Rafaela pick.
Okay, just wherever the Rafaela goes,
Yeah,
you'll follow.
I follow the holy healing.
Okay, there you go. Ladies and gentlemen, that's from the panel. We're going to throw it over to our casters for game number 2.
Team Liquid ID has never lost a game 2 in this playoffs, in this run. Can they keep it the same and go one step closer to Malaysia? Let's see. It's Bigatron Alpha versus Team Liquid ID, round number 2.
Round 2. Hey. Take a look at Witty. Kind of giving an energy that, you know, hey, Key, I'll tell you how to play the Rafaela. And speaking of the Rafaela, I feel like, of course, again, they are going to really handle, or rather bank on the slow, anti-slow, but Witty flickers away.
Yeah, I guess the prio and the Juicin is still very early on. We can see Aran putting down the pressure on the Hilda. Super Luke with Key. Oh, down below. Aran might actually be caught here. Uh-oh. Bench is going to be used up already as well. That should be first blood over. No orange buff take. It's, Moreno who takes it by mistake. He might follow soon with the first blood. Nope, he will be able to survive.
Sorceress burnt left and right, and there was Aran trying to invade that orange buff take, and this is why you want to pick the Hilda. Be able to fight back with Fabian.
There we go. Spear Alpha this time. Revenge for Fabian. First blood for Super Ken game 1. Now it's Fabian with an invade and a red tree win.
And it seems like Aran's death was not without a reason. As right away, Fabian just capitalized on the yes kill, getting engaged on.
Not enough damage just yet, though. Moreno might actually be dead. He has the orange buff. 1 HP Witty gets him down. The double down of Ghani with the holy healing. So far, 2-1 start for the Cavalry.
The mid-prio that the Rafaela gives isn't as aggressive or oppressive as the Khalid, but it gives you that extra damage and also sustainability for Yehezkiel to help fight away the Zeusin. You know how nasty the Zeusin peel is, that range, that zone out with the Lantern Flare. But when there is Witty right behind you, just injecting you, you know, constantly, consistently with the anti-slows and the healing, I feel like Yehezkiel will have way of a greater time in the mid lane.
Yeah, for sure. And it's nasty too, the fact that Eve, over and over again, this matchup has been the name of the game in the playoffs so far. And Eve against the Sushin is still 100% the win rate. So BTR, they're all odds are against them.
Definitely, man. The Eve, the Hilda against the Assassin as well. No control over the neutral objective. Fabian will collect it, and now should be a 5-man invade, or 4-man rather, in the bottom lane. Supercan will have to respect this. They don't have enough damage to take them on. Definitely not. Key already taking a bunch of damage. Supercan still wanting to go for the steal right now with Lantern Flare already on him. He actually brings him into the turret, has the Vengeance. Aran brought back again. That's 2 times now, but again, the healing. Well, Raging Sandstorm to the back now with the real realm of Appellation. Is going to be Super Luke caught in the bad spot, but still able to get the healing down. Fabian has a Fear of Alpha, and unnecessary though. It's another kill for TLID onto Super Luke, and it was only Hilda that was traded in. Worth it for TLID.
Oh my goodness, look at that. They were living in the opposing jungle. TLID was not afraid at all against BTR. And like the draft, man, you gotta, oh man, realize, you gotta talk about it.
Agreed.
Look at the zone that Team Liquid ID has, the prio that they have into the neutral objectives that they're able to control. I mean, Aran is just diving in the backline, so far away, almost in the base of Bigatron Alpha, just separated on that concrete wall. And of course, when you talk about the neutral objective takes, the Alpha will almost always have pride compared to the Nolan. The Nolan needs setup. The Nolan needs for his teammates to just caress him, just to help him open up the maps. But now, Circling Eagle,
A flicker out from Witty to react to the Circling Eagle.
Good engage, good reaction coming in from Weedy the Wise. Second team all MPL Indonesia so far. Now we're on Shiki versus Eman. This used to be a winning lane for Harith, but you know, people just flip the script right now. And Eman, you can see that right away, that Robe already bought for the first item.
Yeah, and the QC.
Yeah, that's true. And no lane is a winning lane when you're up against Eman. You know, you have to work for it. You have to sweat to get that lane winning. But so far, Aaron Chiki is able to control himself from the Harith. Yesterday, a lot of scrutiny upon him because of his overextension.
Look at Aran.
The Harith. But yeah, Aran is just bonking Super Ken.
It might be a solo kill. Super Ken able to escape just barely. But look at the red tree. He was already forced to use it up. And Blue can't even match this. Well, now with Moreno, they should be able to Raging Sandstorm already. Now with the pickup, Aran has the Vengeance. This should not be a kill, especially with Yehezkiel backing them up. Another smackdown with the Lantern Flare. Now with the Crimson Beacon, they're going all in for this. Vengeance finally used up. Super Ken walking forward. Oh my goodness. He lost so much HP. Fabian might be going for the dive. Has the Spear of Alpha. Will not decide to commit onto it. He actually doesn't have the Spear of Alpha, so that's why.
Crimson Beacon, Raging Sandstorm, Fracture, Lantern Flare, all that just to let Fabian get the turtle for free. Look at the prio a Team Liquid ID has, courtesy of Aran, and Super Luke looks to dive to Aaron Chiki.
There's a bit of damage now. Holy Healing is up. Super Luke gonna be caught very, very low. Holy Battle's up as well. Super Luke very low still. Has a bit of damage.
Oh my god!
Real world manipulation though from Yehezkiel. We'll trade it back. Only Witty for Eman. Again, a value trade for TLID.
Oh, they're trading blows, but the punches from the cavalry is just much stronger. They're getting engaged on once again, Fabian.
A full dive into the mid lane. Fabian will not be able to dish out enough damage, or won't be able to soak in that damage.
Yeah, and Aran is just working on the turret bottom side. And Eman, he wanted to go for a Hail Mary play, I suppose, because there were so many pins coming in from Team Liquid ID. But there he went, looking to get the kill towards the Natan, rather towards Witty and Aran again.
Well, I guess it's the weakness of the Hilda, right? You can just get Lantern flared constantly, but look at that damage still, though. Hilda, ridiculous. Up top, it's the Zaman Force. Still a kill over to BTR, but the control remains in TLID's hands. Zaman will clear out the wave. There will not be a turret take.
I feel like Aran will be very proud if he dies 10 times, unless, as long as Team Liquid ID is able to get a cross-map trade, either just shoving the wave top side, or maybe get a turtle for themselves, because Aran is just going to be a pesky menace to just annoy the players being turned alpha.
Oh, Fabian already with the Spear of Alpha.
before the neutral objective even begins. But the cooldown is slow, so they're gonna wait for this one to be able to use it once again, especially towards Super Ken. And now Fabian, so far 2 out of 2. Can he make it 3?
I think he should be able to do so. Circling Ego defensively already from Key. Aran will go for the chase. Super Ken looking for an angle of attack, but he will not be able to find it. Not against TLID with the control. Super Ken with a fracture to escape, and Man helping to peel from him. Aaron Shiki already with his Zaman Force. Fabian now. Spear of Alpha back up. The real one play to the back line with that. Oh, and Man! Entropy forward. Super Luke finding them in the back. Moreno with the Crimson Beacon now picking him back, but there's no one there to follow it up. Moreno caught in the bad spot. Around with the over of Luminous will be able to get that kill. BTR trading 1 for 1. Moreno for Witty again. Value for TLID.
That's a full tank Hilda, by the way. No physical item whatsoever. And Fabian just no, it's actually Super Ken, I believe.
Yeah, he got
that
it.
one. Now run. He's not stopping.
He's just bonking the players of Bigatron Alpha. Look at him. I know that maybe Aran, or rather the Hilda, doesn't really